I taught a course of manifestation in Florida, which I called Magics. And years after that, I would still have people who had taken the course with me come up to me and tell me how much that had impacted their life. Yeah. And how beautiful it had really opened up their abundance. So I think it's really important now, more than ever before, now that the energies are right,
yes,
for us to all to mobilize. We have a purpose. We didn't come here just to kind of struggle around with money or fuss around with relationships. We came here to really do something. We came here on our personal mission, which is our personal self-realization, our realization of ourself as a divine person. And we also have come here to give something to our world, to help participate in this great consciousness change and evolution that's going on right now. It's like probably the most exciting time to be on this planet right now, and you decided to be here. While I was in Miami, I ended up meeting Daniel. Now, I was into astrology. I was starting to really get into my passion of astrology. And I saw that the signs were right for me to meet someone very special. Now, I didn't really want to get married. I wasn't serious. I wanted someone to play with because, by golly, that relationship I'd had with my first husband had just been so dreary. I just, no way am I going to marry again. No way am I going to, just give up my power and to a man and be sick, right? So I met Daniel, and at the exact moment that in the sky, Venus and Mars, those are the female and male sexy planets, were coming together. Divine union, sexual union, passion, romance, it came together in the sky right on my natal Venus. That's hot. If you see that happening in your chart, by golly, you've got to get out and circulate if you're single. And so I went out there. Okay, world, I got to get out here. And just at the moment, just at the right time, it was going to be around 10:30 in the evening, I went to a disco. Okay, and there was I didn't see any men around. It's just me and a couple of girls went there, so we danced with each other, And I was like, okay. And then they said, well, let's play an authentic deco dance, because it was Art Deco weekend on Miami Beach, right? The floor parted. I said, well, I know a little ballroom dancing. So I step into the middle, and a man steps into the middle. It was Daniel. And just like some kind of Hollywood movie, the two of us started to dance the tango. and we were surrounded by, it probably must have been a good 80 or 100, mostly Hispanics that really knew how to dance, right? They went to discos all the time. They had all the moves. But they stood on the side and they watched us stumble all over each other's feet, right? So that's a miracle. It's out of the blue. It's unexplainable. Okay? But I discovered later that there was magic that created that too, which I can share. I will be able to share with you later. But from there, he had a spiritual teacher too. And this spiritual teacher taught manifestation. So we got into working and being yuppies. We wanted to be, young professionals, be busy. We were workaholics. We were pushing. We were going to drive. We were going to make lots of money. We did the whole thing with the money thing. And it was a time of no money down opportunity for a house. So we did. We didn't have any money to put down. So we borrowed $5,000 from a friend to put down as our down payment. We borrowed, took a mortgage from the real estate agents of their commission. We had a mortgage from Daniel's parents. And the woman who sold us the house took on a mortgage. So we had 3 mortgages and a loan. Okay, you can imagine the amount of financial stress we were under, right? Because that all had to be paid off. Every month we had to send that money all the way up to, from Miami to New Jersey. Now these are the days before online banking and an instant electric, transfer. So basically we had a float time. We had the float time between the time we mailed the check, and it was supposed to hit up there about the 1st or the 2nd of the month, and then they mailed the check back down to our bank where it cleared. So we had, how many, about 7 days? 5 days. We had about 5 days of float, okay? Every month we had to write that check and send it off. And every month, at the very last minute, the 11th hour, just enough money would come in. Just enough. Or it would be like 4 days after the check hit up there, and we're like, but tomorrow it's going to hit the bank and we're going to be in default, blah, blah, blah. The money would come in. Have any of you had that type of dramatic thing happen? Okay. This is a pattern, and it is a pattern that so many people have with money. Okay? Because, and that pattern is also, if you've noticed it, if you've ever had that pattern, that during the time you have a pattern like that, if you get in extra money, you get an emergency or something. Okay, you get a little extra money. Oh my gosh, my tooth hurts. I have to go to the dentist and have a cavity filled, right? So it was just an amazing thing. We just always broke even, just barely. Now we were very responsible, right? We were very responsible people. So we were not going to try and cheat anybody. We were not going to try and get away with anybody. Heck, we've been doing our spiritual path, and it taught us to be responsible. Okay. Not that, if you notice, there's some spiritual people who can talk a really great game, but when it comes to money, they are not responsible. But we were determined we were going to. We were going to be integros. Okay. So what we discovered after, oh my gosh, maybe a year, two, I don't know, of struggling every month, we got a breakthrough. We had an aha. We said, what is this? We're able to get, the money comes in every month. What is this about? Why do we have to sweat it? Why do we have to worry and stress and go around and run around and borrow money over here and throw it from here and put that in the bank and rush here and do that, everything to the end of the month. And then we have a little break, and then we try really hard to build it up, but it only comes in at the very last minute. All right. Well, we began to realize, the universe, the reality that we are in. We were thinking about studying manifestation. It was very elementary in those days. There's something consistent here. What if we just didn't worry? What if we could just let it come in? Okay, so I'm going to show you something here on the board. One of the things we discovered was that we were living in a frequency of scarcity. But there was some kind of arrangement in which we would get money in time. So we had a survival arrangement, okay? And I call it a survival arrangement because there's a bottom line that we never went under. We just managed to make it. We never had to get out on the street. But I call it a frequency wave. A frequency wave looks kind of like this. Okay. When you have a frequency, you have a top of the wave, you have a bottom of the wave, and you have the kind of the mean, the median in there, which is kind of the essence of the frequency. Okay? What we discovered was that down here is the bottom line. This up here is our top potential. This means then that this wave has a range. There's a frequency range. We call it the manifestation zone. We were unable to manifest anything greater up here, because if we manifested up there, there'd be an emergency, an urgency, an issue, a problem, something where we would have to spend the money. I had a friend who had that issue as well, and she owned a house, and she had a little pond in the backyard, and she wanted to build a little bridge over it. And so she was painfully putting money together to try and do that. And she was working harder and harder, but she wasn't able to get that money together. And finally one day, one month, she just really got a whole bunch of money together. Yes! And okay, I can get going on my bridge. And what happened? She had problems with her teeth, and she had to have a tooth bridge. She said, that wasn't the bridge I was asking for. But that's where the money went, because her money was up here, and her only amount she could allow herself was there. All right? Down here, if you go beneath this, you don't survive. You're out on the street, you're hungry, or you die. Now, I'm going to share with you a really profound point that will save you lots of stress. Take it from us. We learned it the hard way. Don't you have to too? First of all, you have a contract with the universe for you to survive. If you ever notice when you're really down on your luck, somehow or another, something comes up. If there's, we know a guy who's a handyman. And you know how irregular handyman jobs are, right? He can get to the point where he has absolutely nothing and he doesn't even eat, and then a job shows up. Just enough to get him to the next week, to the next month, whatever it is. That's being on the bottom line. Underneath that, he would be homeless. Now, you have a contract with your universe. It's a soul contract. It's your divine contract. It's part of your divine plan. And every one of you has a divine plan. Okay? And that divine plan says that until you choose, your soul chooses for you to die or whatever else you have chosen to do, this bottom line is always going to be maintained at the worst. The thing is, you don't want to live alone down here. You don't want to always keep challenging the bottom line. And I bet you've had some time in your life where you've had to do that. You may, probably not right now, but you've probably had a time where it was really at the bottom line. And you were really sometimes afraid that maybe you would have not made it. But you did somehow. One way or another, something pops in. This is magic. Something shows up in your reality. That's magic. It just comes out of the blue. Every person that you meet, it's magic. If you are a person that needs a business and the business comes in through the phone, every time you get the phone call for business, that's magic. It's just coming out of where? Where? Where is it coming from? Out of the blue to you, right? So, after we figured out,
I can take this for you, so.
Okay. After we figured out that this was what was happening, we basically then began to trust. It took us several months to stop worrying because the habit for worrying was so big. But gradually the fear diminished because, of course, we thought if we didn't worry and make all that effort, then we would lose out and it wouldn't happen. But it did. After a few months, we stopped worrying. And as soon as we really stopped worrying, we started relaxing, the money would come in much more easily. It would come in not at the last minute, maybe. Not the 11th hour, maybe at the 10th hour. Maybe it would tease us a little bit. And we'd say, okay, we're trusting, it'll be here. And we started to get to the place where we were curious, how is it going to come in this month? What unusual circumstances are going to happen for that money to show up? It was really a show. You know, reality is very entertaining. What do they say, truth is stranger than fiction? It is so entertaining how reality and how the magic worked. And we knew that it was our guides working for us. And they would just put stuff together and click, synchronicities would happen, blah, 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 and there it'd be. It's like, this is really cool, okay? So, once we started to feel that way, after a few months, we began to notice that our income was increasing. So the wave started to move up. In other words, our survival line here, we never went down to it. We were now here's the bottom line that we went to. Then the bottom line kept going up. The median vibration, the essence, the feeling, the resonance of us went up. The amount of money went up. This is magic. Why? Because magic is about repetition. Once we got this, we essentially didn't have to worry about money again. So, did you get it? Okay, that's golden point one. Okay, you've got a contract for survival, and you can trust your divine plan, your soul plan, you can rely on the universe providing for you. Once you start trusting it, universe wants to give you more. And it will give you more. It will give you more of whatever it is you want or you think you need. Okay? It will give you more money, it will give you more love, more health, it'll give you breakthroughs. Okay?